Hello. Hello, students. Our beloved guest speaker, the district leader, our beloved pastors, the deputy in charge of administration, in attendance, all our elders of this church, the staff members present, and in a special way, our beloved, guest choir of today, the Living Voices. The visitors in our midst, all the student leaders present, the student body. Allow me to take this special moment to welcome each one of you to this 2023 special camp meeting. I welcome all of you in Jesus' name. The task I have now is to open this camp meeting officially. But before I declare this camp meeting open, 3 things. Number 1, here now I request for total silence because it is very important. To all of us attending this camp meeting, if we have been misusing time in one way or the other, I kindly call and appeal to each one of us that we should not lose any minute, because this is a moment where we have come to the theater for treatment, for operation, and the doctor is here. That one is very important. You see, in most cases, I laugh at people and I really pity people, and sometimes I even pray that God gives me opportunity to speak to people. I have attended several burials, but what I always hear in the burial place, when some of God's people, they come before the mourners and they tell them, we are going to pray for Dio. When we read the Dio is in the coffin, we are going to pray for Dio so that he can go and meet who? God. That is a lie. That is a what? That is a total lie. Children of God, you work to enter heaven when you are still walking on your 2 feet like I am, like you are seated, you are listening, but when you breathe the last, that is the end of you. You only wait for what? Judgment. So don't be deceived that you will pay money. This is the only time when the doctor is in the theater for us to get our salvation, or never. Number 2. Our beloved guest speaker, we commit you to God to do our work so that we can get healed and we leave this camp meeting blessed. Number 3, I want to welcome all of you for this camp meeting. I'm overjoyed by the visit of our guest choir, and that is the Living Voices. I know you should not leave this place without singing for me my song. And the song says, Eyo, Luliba Lumunga tutuse, Eyo. Luliba Lumunga tutuse, Eyo. God bless you. I wish you the best. I declare this camp meeting open.
Okay. Let us open in the book of Luke. Luke is silent. I'm going to read the first verse. Are we there? Okay. It says, then Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. Then Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. At this time, I'd like to call upon the living voices to come and give us one special item. After that, we shall call the speaker of the day to break it. May God bless you as we are listening. Hello. I have been thinking that we are making noise. There is noise, especially in that place at the back. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello.
And in the Duke, now the one that the world calls Mbabaali, we call her Lesia, Kelita, Nachayune, and listen up. And Nakato is Lois. I am a footballer and I am a fan of football. Because I'm a Christian, I understand people that do better a cappella than even recording. We are having just a few choirs. At our wedding with my wife, so please, she's just the taller version of my wife. When I look back on what I thought was good, I found the cross was calling, even then. Amen. With heads bowed and eyes closed, we'll pray. Neighbor, salvation in your house. Luke chapter 19, verse 1. And I'm reading up to verse 10. And I will listen and listen good, or follow from your respective versions. I'm using New International Version. The Bible says, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. Now a man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. Verse 7. All the people saw this. Save the lost. I beg that you walk with me just briefly. Zacchaeus is a Jew. And the name Zacchaeus comes from the root word Zaki. And Zaki means pure, innocent. It means pure or innocent. You see, there are some people that do not live according to their names. That you find somebody called Joy and they are gloomy. You find someone called Bright, but they can't even perform in class. And then you find somebody called White, yet they are darker than the Bible cover. Now Zacchaeus means pure, all right? It means innocent. But this pure and innocent man, Zacchaeus, is actually a thief. Because you see, according to the customs of the Jews, all right? According to the customs of the Jews, you will find that if there is anyone who is not a Jew, they would call them dogs. So if there is a tax collector and he is not a Jew, he is called a dog. But you see, when you are a Jew and you are a tax collector, you are not only a dog, you are in fact a pig. And not only a pig, you are an abomination that causes desolation. So much so that they do not even allow you to enter their temples because you are but a pig. So Zacchaeus, because he was a thief, you see, when you hear that somebody was a tax collector, don't be swayed into thinking that maybe Zacchaeus was the URA of them days. URA is much more organized. That they even have receipts. That you can do something, you can make some transactions, and you can claim the monies, or you can claim that they give you explanations, and they will. So URA is very organized. When we talk of the tax collectors of them days, we are talking of people who were thieves, broad day thieves. So Zacchaeus was not just a tax collector. He was the chief tax collector. And to make matters worse, he was the chief tax collector, and tax collection was always done by the government of Rome. So that means that Zacchaeus, although he's a Jew, he is siding with the Romans to extol, to steal from his fellow countrymen. I want to talk to somebody here tonight who once upon a time were friends with someone, but right now they are worst of enemies. I want to talk to someone here who at one time was the one meant to support others, but he speaks ill of the school and speaks well of other schools where they are not. Well, you see, there are some Form 5s. Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. There are some Form 5s here that OBs of the place, they were here in S4. And as they were writing their enable exams, they were assuring their friends that, man, I can't come back here. I just can't come back to the village. I'm going to other schools. I'm going to Marcos. I'm going to Lele. I'm going to the other school. I'm going to the other school. But you see, after speaking badly about Katikamu Secondary School, when they say that S5s are returning on 14th March, you find this guy around a week earlier. Now Zacchaeus is a thief, and Zacchaeus is stealing from his fellow Jews. Walk with me, walk with me. Allow me give us again one more issue in the background. Now Zacchaeus was living in Jericho. Now, for a Jew to live in Jericho, it was an abomination. All right? Somebody say abomination. Now, for a Jew to live in Jericho, it was an abomination. For one reason, when the children of Israel were still in their primary stages with God, God took them to the promised land. But once upon a time, they were meant to go through Jericho or to fight against Jericho. And then the Lord tells them that simply stand and watch me as I do things. So he tells them that all week you're going to be walking around that city gate. And then they walked around that city gate for 7 days. Every day they walk around it just once. And on day 7, they walked around it 7 times. And when they were done, they were told to blow the trumpets and tambourines and pianos and everything. So they blew all those things. And by the power of God, this city, Jericho, fell down to the debris. So because it fell down to the debris by the power of God, the Jews believed that there is no Jew that is meant to live in a city where the Lord is the very one who put it down. In essence, it was also not right to build Jericho again, much less to live therein, because God had put it down. But allow me to tell us that even for the places that are abominable, the Lord will walk there to heal someone. You see, some of you do not understand these things because all you do is to come here to school, or maybe your father drives you here to school. And when VD comes, your daddy and mommy, they come together carrying bags and baggages of issues and things to eat. So when we are having our VD, the school, well, I don't know about these days, but it must be the same. In our days, on VD, they would prepare us rice and meat. So what would happen, the moment VD is around this time, we are meant to be going for preps. So others are still enjoying the time with their parents, and they've been brought good food. So somebody comes and says, guys, I have rice. Guys, I have beef. Guys, I have this. And so we would only ask, food, home, or school. And then somebody says, well, this is rice, school. And we say, rice, school, to hell. because we wanted rice home. Now, as I speak, there is somebody whose parents always come carrying good things, carrying chocolate, carrying ice cream, carrying foods, carrying this, carrying that, carrying the other. And then when the term is done, they are simply picked in a vehicle and they are driven home. They've actually never climbed a taxi. They do not know how to even stop a taxi, because all they do is to wake up and then daddy tells them, pack your stuff because we are going. And then she says, Daddy, before you go, I have my list. And then daddy says, fine, give me the list. We'll pass by the supermarket. And this girl only does that. So do not understand when we say that there are some people that are living in places that are, so to say, abominable. I'm speaking to people that are living in places where they are having stepmothers and stepfathers. Those people know what it means to be in an abominable place. I'm talking to people that have been to situations that make them ask whether God really does care. And Zacchaeus is living in a place where he's not meant to be. I am saying that it is not good to find Pastor Magembe chilling in a shrine. Pastor Magembe cannot be chilling in the shrine because he's meant, if anything, even if Pastor Magembe comes here and then the school says we don't have any house yet, all we do is to simply open this box. He can still stay here because he's a pastor. So Zacchaeus is a thief. He's living in a wrong place. Short men, listen, short men are talented. That is why, listen, that is why there is this banter that is going on, that I hear Messi and Ronaldo, who is better? We don't need to debate about that. One is talented and the other is a hardworking mechanic. And so, short people don't even fall. Short people don't fall. And we don't fall for one reason. Listen, short people don't fall for one reason. We have a good working relationship with the ground. And actually, short people, they don't even fall in. That is why it is very hard. Come back. That is why short people, our hearts can hardly be broken because we don't fall, we walk. Number two, well, I was not so good in biology, but this I remember, that when, you see, being short means you have all the nutrients. And relax. We've been told that when somebody is too tall, are you with me? My biology told me that when a plant has no sunlight, it grows tall and man. And because it's short, and Zacchaeus had to bid, and he won all the Romans. That is why he was the chief tax collector. And so, because he was a thief, I need you now. And because he was a thief, he would never walk alone. He would walk with guards. But you see, because he was stealing from the Jews, this is what the Jews would tell him. Zacchaeus, you're stealing from us, Zacchaeus. But the Messiah will come, Zacchaeus. And when the Messiah comes, Zacchaeus, you will see what it means to be stolen from by your fellow Jew, Zacchaeus. And when the Messiah comes, Zacchaeus, we shall hold you, Zacchaeus. We shall stone you, Zacchaeus. We shall kill you, Zacchaeus. And so Zacchaeus knows that they're going to kill me should they find me alone. So he walks with guards. I need you now. So one day, all right? One day, as Zacchaeus is walking around, he hears that guy, Jesus, the Messiah, is in Jericho. Now, when he hears that Jesus, the Messiah, is in Jericho, he takes off. But in running, he forgets that Jesus is the creator. So he knows the geography and demography of the place. So as he runs to one side, actually, the story as we have it tells us that he ran to meet Jesus. But the story as interpreted is that he actually was running from Jesus. Because he knew that when I meet with the Messiah, that will be my death day. And so when he runs, he sees that the Messiah is coming from that direction. So he changes the direction. And a mob, a crowd was coming from the other side. And so he tries to take another route. And he runs. He finds some other guys coming because they all want to meet the Messiah. So that is why he climbs the tree. You see, rich men never used to climb trees. There are some things that rich people don't do. There are some things that rich people don't do. That is why there are some students here who are having the dimes. Their wallets are heavy. They do not even know the spelling of the word kau. Now when they tell us that, okay guys, the camp meeting is here, it has begun, so very early in the morning, please rush and have breakfast. And then at about 8 or 7, thereabouts, come to chapel, then we start our camp meeting. Somebody will simply say, I will walk to the chapel. I don't need to push myself in the lines for porridge. That is not me. You see, while here, listen up. While here, there were some girls who had what we call digi. They were calling it dignity, and so they would shorten the word as digi. So whenever it could rain, there were some girls who are not having digi. That is, by the way, when we could see who is poor and who is rich. Because the poor people, when it rains, they walk out of class and they put their hands. To feel the rain. But these dignified girls, when they were done, possibly with classes, and it's lunchtime, or maybe classes are done, and it is still raining, these were girls who would simply hold their books, and they walk straight through the rain to their dormitory, and they walk. Now, Some girls would want to emulate them, and again we would see who the poor ones were. Because when poor ones come into the reigns, as the rich are simply walking, these ones try to run, or they walk faster. And then, by the time, don't talk closer. And then he wants to see, who is this Messiah? How heavy is he? Is he having an army? Is he having a battalion? Who is this man? And Jesus, because today, I must stay at your house. When somebody who is rich is soon to die, the Messiah, your tribe, into your ethnicity, you are a Jew. It's God's choice to bring her here, your house. And of course, I know, reestablish your feet on the rock, Jesus Christ himself. I'm here to say that, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of who we are, how we are, where we are, the Lord has brought salvation to us for one fundamental reason. Had Jesus waited for you to come, you would never have come. Had Jesus waited for Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus would never have come. Wherever anybody can be in Katikamu, I am telling you, the Lord has been spotted on the streets of Katikamu, and he has come fundamentally for one reason: not to judge no one, but to bring salvation. Salvation in your house.
399. We'd like to invite the choir to administer the Lord.
Shall we rise up for prayer? Always come out to look for us. And it is surprising that when you meet us, you don't meet us with a collection of judgments and salvation in you. And even as we come to the close of this prayer, God, I pray.
We want the items from the Living Voices as we wait for the last communication. May God bless.
Chief and